Right. Um, so, I was, oh, how can I put it? Hold on. I'm just looking for some, just looking for some. There we go. No, there we go. That's the job. That's the ticket. I'm not going to keep this window open for too long. So, I'm in the process of downloading Attila Total War. Should be done in a couple of seconds. And so, I had this problem playing Borderlands, the Game of the Year edition, the specific one that came out in 2019, and it's not very well optimized. But there was no way I was going to go back to playing the base version because there shouldn't be any dull reason to play the new one. So I played it, and there was a little bit of hiccups I was having, mainly due to the fact that as the day went on when I was playing it, the frame rate gradually decreased. And I tried all sorts of things like disabling loading videos and all that in between areas, and it kind of alleviated it, but I still wasn't satisfied. So what I did was I downloaded something called Vulkan, and it's a DirectX um, system file, I guess you could call it. And what it does, I don't know the trick behind it, but for some reason, what it does is it takes games that are a little bit on the older side, nothing too new, and I don't know what trickery is involved in it, but for some reason it just makes the games run that little bit better. Now, if you're a Total War fan, you'll know that infamously, Total War Attila, great concept, great idea, um, but for some reason, it's one of the worst running Total War games in existence. Even now, if you've got a beefy computer, it still runs like shit. And it used to bug me. It used to really annoy me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the same thing that I got for um, say it for me, uh, Borderlands, and I'm going to apply it to Attila, and I'm going to see if I can get it to work. I don't know if it'll work. It might not. But the idea is to take the DLL file and drag it into the same place where the game executable file is. So that's in there now. And I don't have to do anything. It's literally just a drag and drop ordeal. So I'm going to launch Attila and I'm going to see if it has improved because it is infamous for running terrible. And I don't know if this is. We'll find out. So I'm going to get rid of the display capture and it should run the game in full screen here. So okay, okay, I've got the launcher open. I'm going to press start. And I'm just hoping and praying because this was the first Total War game I bought with my own money on launch, and I was really excited to play it, and I was so disappointed, and it just put my confidence in the series down drastically. So I'm hoping that this, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm leaning more on the side of pessimism, really. Uh, so so far the main menu doesn't seem to look great, but I'll ignore that. So in the graphics settings, I'm going to go to custom, and you can see here, there's just things that I just don't need to disable or reduce based on my computer. As you can see there, it's a GTX 1660 Ti. You know, it runs Three Kingdoms Total War perfectly fine. You know, and Thrones of Britannia runs that pretty well okay as well. So it should, in theory, run this no problem. So my theory is if I can run Grand Theft Auto 5 at full blast, I should be able to run this. I say full blast, almost full blast. So I'm going to go back and just pick I'm going to go by what my computer should realistically be able to run on this. And I'm going to, everything's up to max quality, quality. I'm going to set it to quality and just be a little bit modest with this. I'm going to keep the unit size as ultra because, like, yeah. Distortion effects, I'll turn that off. VSync is off. Proximity effect, I don't know what these are. Well, I do know, but I don't think they're that taxing. I'm going to run a benchmark. And this is where the game just falls apart, is when I run this benchmark and it just gives me the worst frame rate imaginable. And I'm just about to find out whether or not this stream is a waste of time. Fingers crossed. Now, I don't know if streaming it is going to be taxing on anything. It shouldn't be too taxing, especially nowadays. It should be at a playable state, and I'm hoping that it is. I'm really hoping that it is. So here we go. Come on, load up, load up, load up. Come on. Okay, we're at 36 frames per second. 34 frames per second. We're dropping into the low 20s, probably high 20s. Oh, for fuck's sake. Still runs like absolute mints. This game's just horribly optimised. 30 frames per second. Normally in a Total War game I can handle 30 frames per second, but you just know fine well that at the basic level, this is running at 30 frames per second and not much is going on. It's like mid-20s now. And we haven't even gotten to the explosions yet. Okay, solid 30 here. So 30 frames per second is my average. Now, that's the benchmark. That's showing the most graphically intense moments that you would probably see in the game. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to start a campaign. Or even better yet, I'm going to start a battle. Historical battle. Right, give me the Battle of fucking don't know. Attila lanes. Try that one. Right. Give me. Oh, that's my army. I thought I was in the army select screen. Okay, so we get 2v2 here. So that's plenty of units per team. Let's just start the battle. Let's just get it over with. Right.
The Huns advance, Commander.
You can shut up for a start. Yeah, you can see it's jittering like fuck, man. At no point should I be experiencing this much slowdown with nothing going on. This isn't playable to me. Now it's reaching the high 70s when I look at the sky. Even then, when I'm looking at the sky, it doesn't even render at what my graphics card is capable of doing, which is 144 frames per second, 155 if I overclock it. Not the graphics card, the display. The fact that it's rendering this bad from this distance out is woofed. So I'm going to send these units in. I can't select these units, these aren't my units. Oh wait, no they're not. These are my units. I can only select one unit. So I'm going to just charge. I'm not going to do anything strategic. I'm just going to charge. I just want to see what this battle looks like. So I'm fast forwarding it. One of the most disappointing Total War games I've ever had the displeasure of playing, and not because I think the game sucks, as on paper, great concept, but it just runs like absolute shit and I'll never understand it. It's the only Total War game that I just don't have any confidence in running. I'm just about to charge into these units, batter into them. Okay, okay, we've got a decent amount of units here. Charge in there. You guys also charge in there. You guys over that side. Right, let's just see this chaos now. I'm going to put it to play mode. Zoom in into the battle, and I am at the low 10 frames per second. This is absolutely atrocious. I am not happy with this at all. Thought the Vulcan thing would have worked, but it didn't. This is bad. This is really, really bad. This is unplayable. Now, if I was to take the graphics, for example, and bring them all the way down to its lowest for maximum performance, let me just double check. Right? Now watch this. Does it improve? Maybe. Probably will. But by how much? Here we go. Graphics are at their worst. 30 frames per second. That is unacceptable. Don't get me wrong, the game doesn't actually look that bad, even with the lowest graphical setting. Pleasantly surprised. But this is fucking dreadful. Okay, just want to avoid confusion here. The game isn't running at 5 frames per second like these units are, it's just because I've got the animations all the way down. Because I can still move the camera fine. But it's at 30 frames, 28 frames per second, at the lowest setting, from a game that was released when? 2017? I don't know.
Terrible news. ETS has fallen.
I don't care if ETS has fallen.
The courage to fight when they
Shut up. So, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, disheartened, and uninterested in playing this game. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't have bought it. But that's hindsight. What can you do? Unhappy. Game still runs like mince. If you've watched this and you have any hints or tips on how to get this game to run properly in the year of our Lord 2024 on a rig similar to mine, which is a 1660 Ti Ryzen 5 2600, leave it in the comments, and maybe I've missed something, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm going to accept that this game just doesn't cut the proverbial mustard. And that's all there is to it. Right, so I'm going to clear this off and I'm going to play something else. Okay, that'll do. Right, I'll see you whenever I see you. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.